Haven Park. As I was playing this game, I realized very quickly that the creator of this game really enjoyed the indie game, A Short Hike. It has the exact same feel to it, but unfortunately, it's just not as good as that game. If you've never played A Short Hike, you're tasked with getting to the top of the mountain. You have to upgrade your flying and climbing abilities to make it up the mountain, and you can actually feel the differences every time you get another upgrade. This game takes that idea and says, why don't we make the world twice as large, put in a pointless crafting system, and have quests that just don't matter. And even saying that, I didn't hate this. I thought it was okay. It just wasn't as fun as the game it was trying to replicate. You play as Flint, who has been tasked by his grandmother to take care of the park, which means he has to go to each campsite and craft structures that the campers will like. I don't know why none of these sites didn't already have this already. I guess the grandma's been slacking off in that department. But you're just going to have to use the material that your character finds on the ground in order to do this. You will craft items using 5 materials from all over the island. A coin, wood, metal, fabric, or mushrooms. And for each one you pick up, you'll get experience points, which will level you up. But more on that in a minute. Let's first talk about the insane crafting system. The amount of materials you would actually need in order to build something was just nuts. It makes sense that you would need 1 piece of wood in order to make a campfire. And maybe 2 pieces of wood could be used to make a bench. I'm not sure what's keeping it together. Why don't we need nails or glue? But the material needs gets really silly when you can make a wooden cabin out of 4 pieces of wood and 3 pieces of metal. And sometimes the wood you pick up are just sticks. There is no way this cabin is up to code. Then there's a huge Ferris wheel that's made out of 11 pieces of metal, 2 pieces of wood, and for some reason 2 mushrooms. Also, how on earth do you make a working radio out of 2 mushrooms and a piece of metal? Who is this kid, MacGyver? As you add things in the campsites, people will start to show up. And they're going to complain about what they want. But they actually do show you at the bottom of the screen what you're supposed to make, which was very helpful. The campers will sometimes give you more quests. And the term busy work has never been more apt, as nothing they tell you actually matters at all. They just give you something to do, like find a treasure or hide and seek, like an example. But it doesn't affect the story or anything you're actually going to do in the game, other than to give you a little bit of experience. If you level up, you get ability points, which you can use to make your time easier in the park. From making your jumps better, pulling back the camera, giving yourself more resources, adding to your holding power, or a couple other things. I maxed out at level 10 by the end of the game, and I still had 1 ability point left, and I assumed I would use it to unlock a much needed fast travel system. But it didn't. It was just an extra point for no reason. Why didn't they just make the very last level give you 4 points instead of 5? Or make one of the other abilities cost a little bit more? It's just weird that I still had 1 left. Now, like I mentioned, there is no fast travel system, and the world that you explore isn't especially large, but when you can easily fall off a mountain, and that would mean that you have to do a 5-minute trek back to where you were, it was just annoying that they didn't let you jump back and forth between campsites. Now, I will say that after you beat the game, they do give you a hot air balloon, which sort of acts like a fast travel system, as you can fly around. Now, there are a few things you need to do in order to finish the game, and these quests will often have you find an object that is just really nearby, almost to the point where you just have to wonder why they even bothered. Most of the quests, though, were so pointless. There was one that I was sure had to matter, where I had to find the heart of the mountain. And even though it really wasn't the thing I was looking for, or I don't remember ever being brought up in the story, I was sure it was here for a reason. It was the only other area that had to be loaded in the game, so it had to matter, right? Now, it was a fun area where you traveled on minecarts and moved cranes around, but it ended up being meaningless. I got the heart and nothing changes. And I think I got a piddly amount of experience for finishing it. I assumed when I met up with my grandma at the end that she would see that I found the heart of the mountain and be happy. But she didn't acknowledge it. So I went on this 25-minute tangent for no reason. And it's frustrating that practically nothing matters. There were simple things that the game just didn't have. Like when you're looking at the map, it doesn't tell you where you are. It's easy to get turned around, and the map also won't tell you what part you're in, even though it is broken down into sections. It was also annoying that when I filled up my storage, it would only let me drop 1 piece at a time. Why not let me set the amount of things I want to drop? I was only picking these things up to get experience. Now, this game is very colorful, and if you like the words pew, You can say that anytime you want, with the push of a button. But that button is also the one you use to pick up items, so get ready to say it on accident quite often. Haven Park was an okay exploration game, but it sure has some annoying quirks. It's easy to explore, and you can truly go in any direction you want. You will never die, so younger players could actually play this without too many problems. Now, this game is only $8.99, and I would say wait for it to go on sale. I have seen it for under $5 at times. A Short Hike, the title that this game is clearly taking inspiration from, is actually $1 cheaper in its base price. And I would say buy that game first if you haven't tried it. And after that, if you want to experience another one of those types of games, this one will definitely feel that need. But wait for it to go on sale.